In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create consent fields that you can add to your forms to ensure that your users are actually consenting to receive marketing communication from you and that you're not sending unsolicited communication to your audience. So I'm here in my contact section and we're going to navigate over to setup over here on the left hand side. Then we're going to click on consent. From here, we can start adding consent checkboxes. We have our marketing communication consent checkbox here that is automatically in the system. Can't delete it, can't remove it, can't do anything about it. You can also go ahead and add other consent checkboxes like I consent to receiving, can't spell, text messages from the company. And we can go ahead and hit save. You can also go ahead and add, for example, their terms and conditions. So we'll just say T's and C's, and then we can go ahead and hit save. So now we've added a few consent checkboxes. We can actually add this to our forms. So if I view my website, and let's go ahead and just add that consent form over here, well, that opt-in form. So I'm just going to add an opt-in form. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and add a few more items. So our first name, last name, let's drag the email down there. And that is good. Now we want to add our consent fields. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to come here to our consent option. From here, I'm going to add which consent items I would like to be visible. So we've got the title that is set to terms and conditions. But you can go ahead and say, I accept the following, for example, and then you can choose the location. So we've got it above the button, which you can't really see because it's the same color as the background, but we'll fix that in a minute. And then you can choose what items you want to be visible here. So we can go ahead and add all of these items that we want visible on this page or on this consent form. All right, so I am just going to quickly edit that button so that it's got a different background color to the one to the background, of course, and the hover color we're also just going to change to white. All right, so we've made those changes and now we can go ahead and hit publish. All right, I'm going to open this page in an incognito window. All right, and then I'm going to opt in as Heather Hope, and let's give me an email address, and then I can choose what I would like to accept here. So yes, I'd like to receive ongoing communication. Yes, I agree to the T's and C's. I am not going to consent to receiving text messages from the company. And I didn't change the text color of the button, but yeah, we're just going to hit done. And now I will have opted in to this consent field. So now if I navigate back to the admin area and I navigate back to my contacts, for example, and I go ahead and search for Heather Hope, I click in here, you'll see that I have updated consent fields here. So marketing communication, agreed, and it tells me when it was updated. I consent to receiving text messages, declined, can't send text messages to this user, and then T's and C's, I agreed. So you can see the updated consent fields here and how I am and am not allowed to communicate with this user. And for a different example, let's just go ahead and remove that, click into Amy. You'll see that those consent fields, they're all unseen, so nothing has been agreed to. But if I go ahead and log in as Amy, and so let's just go ahead and log in quickly. Log in. And we decide to fill out these informations, and we go ahead and consent to all of that as Amy. Then when I navigate back to the admin area and I refresh this page, you'll see that all of her consent has now been updated and agreed to. So that is how you can add those consent fields to your forms and how you can ensure that your users are consenting to receiving certain communication from you. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to set up certain automations within the system. I'll see you there.